gravitate to, and that only, unless you have a brain that seeks outside. But other than that, we need to be directed to what we like. And it's easy to kind of hone in on that and keep us in one direction. That's why when you finally do step away and you question all of this stuff, they start calling you names and, you're not part of this. You think outside the box. You're insane. You're crazy. Because you realize all of y'all are stuck in a hamster wheel and won't nobody get off, right?
It's crazy.
Won't nobody figure out how to get off the hamster wheel. We just do the same thing all day, every day.
Hey, man, I don't know if y'all heard, but bro, Dennis Rodman is going through it right now with his daughter, Trinity. Trinity is not happy, man. Now, they say you could give somebody the best life. You could make sure they got nice cars. You can make sure they go to college at the nice schools. But none of that shit matter if you're not present. And I guess Trinity, she really feels some type of way about Dennis Rodman not being a present father, bro. I'm talking about, and we know, and if anybody know anything about Trinity, Trinity just won an Olympic gold medal. She just won an Olympic gold medal in the Olympics. Like she went to private schools all her life. You know what I'm saying? One thing Dennis Rodman did was take care of his kids, but like she said, he did it financially. Like he liked to party. She said we couldn't stay with him. We had to move out his crib because he made it known that he was going to have 5, 6, 7 women in the house at one time. She was like, Mama, it was like either my mom had to choose to be in a relationship with him and everybody else and enjoy the way he was living his life. Or so basically she feels some type of way that he chose that life over the children life. What you think about that shit, man?
I think it was a choice. Just like you said, her mom had to make the decision whether she was going to stay with him and live that type of life or she was going to take her kids. This man, I love and say what you want. I like when people can be open and honest. This is how I want to live. And this is what it is. So sometimes people get together and these conversations aren't had, right? Prior to having kids. But
it wasn't had.
Obviously, it wasn't, because if you were having kids, you probably thought you were going to be with someone who's going to settle down and be a dad.
He was still Dennis Rodman.
Right.
When she met him, he was Dennis Rodman.
Right. So I always feel like it's unfair to say afterwards, like, hey, you ready to settle down yet? After I've already been clear where I stand.
And that's why I be getting mad too, because not only that, he probably met her with 5 or 6 bitches in the crib.
It happens. It happens.
The same way what do I say? The same way you meet him is the same way you lose him.
Right.
You probably met this nigga when he had 4 or 5 bitches, and now you mad at him because he want to continue to do his lifestyle, even though you got pregnant. So he like, I'm gonna take care of my kids. I'm gonna still be there for you. But at the end of the day, I'm a rock star. I'm Dennis Rodman. I play for the Chicago Bulls. I feel like I can do whatever the fuck I want when I want.
Right. And that's just what it is. And a lot of times, like I said, people don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that I can't be the one to change how you feel you want to live your life, because we have this false ideology of what things should be. But in all honesty, he was open. He wanted to live his life a certain way. We watched him live his life openly a certain kind of way. And that's what the choice was. I mean, I feel what she's saying from the time that she's missed out with her father. But sometimes we have to face the honest fact that that's what he made his choice as well. And his choice was not to be in your life.
But does that mean he's not in her life because he lived a certain lifestyle?
No, I don't know that his lifestyle kept him from her personally. I'm just saying because she felt like he could have been more.
He felt like he wasn't present.
Okay.
But like I tell people all the time, I think it's unfair when athletes have kids, and you're an athlete. Why? Especially in the midst of your career, because you're gone 8 months out of the year. You have to travel. So unless you're taking your family with you on the road with you, like most people ain't doing, having you come to every city and living on the road with them, then guess what? This athlete, if he's a football player, works in 10 different states a year. If he's a basketball player, he plays 82 games a year, and he's going to probably 40 to 50 different cities. So you telling me you're having kids with a man that can't be there just to do what? just to have kids with him. Because you want that. So now you got to understand that he's not going to be present. That child's going to have to understand he's not present. Michael Vick wasn't present into his kid's life until after he left the NFL. Michael Vick is present now, but I get you, when he played with the Atlanta Falcons, he wasn't as present as he was supposed to.
Right. It's hard to do that and maintain. And that's why I say, we don't have proper family planning, in a lot of situations. Life takes a toll, life happens. But yeah, there's a lot of professions where people are creating families that they can't be there for. And it is unfair for the family that's created. But that's what it is. But I think if a person tells you, hey, this is where I'm at, it is what it is, whether you believe it or not.
I think at this moment in her life, she should just be proud of who her father is. Take it with a grain of salt that you like, because at the end of the day, even though you might be getting, it's a lot of people that you either get, I know everybody wish it was perfect.
Yes.
They wish they could have the presents plus the money. You wish you could have the happy, like sometimes you got a fucked up father, but he rich. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got a genuine father, but he broke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get everything built in one package, my nigga.
Dad said that to me, and then both my parents were at home with me, right? And they worked, and we had, they weren't millionaires, so they had that time to be home. But I didn't even know, and my dad said it when he was here the last time, and I didn't even know he cared. He was like, we were just talking about stuff, and he said, I'm so sorry that I never went to go to your volleyball games. He was like, because I didn't get to see them. And I just was looking at him like, I never cared anything about them, but I guess as a parent, while he was at work and I was there because they weren't there, but I didn't care. I knew what they were doing, so it never made an issue to me. But it meant something to him, evidently, to say to me as grown age as I am. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you have people that hurt to not be present. Then you have people that say, I'm not going to be present. I'm not going to be involved. Everything has a different tendency. And what I had to do is think, and maybe that's what she needs to do. As the older you get, you start to understand these circumstances. And I'm less harsh on, and maybe that's why I didn't care. I'm less harsh on my parents because I know the circumstances. I have to work too. There's some things I can't make it to. And I pray to God that my kids don't resent me for it. But even though it may hurt my heart, you get what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that I've came into understanding that helped me get better through the situations that I felt I may have been neglected on. And being that she's still thinking about that, she can't move from it because that understanding is not there.
And she said, and they say Dennis Rodman issued an apology. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he's a father. He's going to do that.
Right. So right. Just like you acknowledge it, whether it's like, I feel that.
But I think sometimes it's hard for her to understand. It's hard for a child to understand when you got a father that live that lifestyle that he lived, and the lifestyle that he lived don't just come with just I choose to be out there. He was on the rock star basketball team with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, everywhere he go at that time. So you tell him like he can do anything in the world. So your ego is up at it here. Then you having kids. Bro, this man was with Madonna at one point.
He was with Carmen Electra, and they both was wearing wedding dresses. Like he was doing what he wanted to do and live his life. So him offering an apology just clearly tells you he understands that his lifestyle affected her. Just that she needs to understand that the lifestyle that she's saying she wished she would have had it affects her, but you have to come to an understanding. And that's what I feel we rely on our disappointments and our hurt to keep us, feeling these emotions as opposed to understanding, well, damn, he was a celebrity. He did have to make money so that I can go to this school. He wasn't going to be present for a lot of things because of his lifestyle. And as an adult, you just be like, okay, I understand that. It still doesn't change the hurt. But the older you get, the more experience you have in life, you start to realize, dang, I understand the hard times now. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
But that's why I don't understand, because those ain't really hard times. I always like how I say to Keith Jr. when he be saying shit. I be like, boy, you don't even understand. You ain't went through nothing. Your pain and your everyday struggle. That's why I love the saying everyday struggle. Everybody everyday struggle is the same.
Exactly.
So with your struggle, so if this little girl could actually take her struggles and put it in a bottle with everybody's struggles, she'd be like, damn, my dad wasn't present, but damn, he ain't no child support. No, damn, my dad wasn't present, but damn, how did I go to this school that I was with to? Because my dad sure was the reason I went there. My dad wasn't present, but would I be Olympic champion if my dad wasn't paying for my trainers?
Yeah, but see, all of that is financial. We're talking about emotional here, and I don't think it's fair when people say, "Oh, put your things in a bucket. You would choose your own," because each person has their own genetic makeup, their own DNA, and your feelings are personal to you. It's not really for anybody to understand. People try to analyze them and understand it. That's why you have therapists and all of these scientists. But at the end of the day, your emotions are personal to you, and you don't have to justify that to anybody. So just because I was able to go to these schools, that doesn't mean I didn't feel lonely. That don't mean I didn't go through a depression. Now, because your dad wasn't there and he didn't pay child support and you grew up in the hood, you probably felt lonely and depressed, right? It's the same thing. So we always throw financials and race and all of these other things in it. And at the end of the day, emotional is something that we can't see. That comes from within. So I think it's unfair to try to judge another person's emotions based off of somebody else going through a different kind of hardship. That's just not my journey. My journey grew up in the house, but at that big house, I was by myself.
Okay,
in the little house, and you were by yourself.
I'm not saying really emotions, but what I'm saying is that Dennis Rodman maybe wasn't there because of we got to remember, even though his lifestyle consisted of his work and playing 82 games a year, I think back then 72 games a year. So if I'm always gone, I'm going 9 months out of the year. Yes. Then I got to go on the road for promos. I got to do book signings. They want me to, we winning championships at this time. So I got to go to ABC News, Good Morning America. I'm the breadwinner. So I'm going to miss all these events. I'm going to miss damn near every school event. Guess when basketball season is? During the school year. We start in September. So I miss everything. I'm not here. Mm-hmm. So this is why I say it's hard for a person to have children when you're an athlete, because it's like,